Hey, y'all, it's Dinosa, and I've got kind of things going on. I've got real world. You may have saw that other video I put up. It's my first attempt with my phone to put any video up, and it was processing forever, so I'm not even sure if it's up on that. But anyway, this is for the Real World Explosion, episode 9, I think it is. Um, it was an interesting episode, I have to say. This is the episode before the last episode, um, before pretty much all, and this is the one that was the kind of the build up of everything coming to light. Like everyone started to talk real smack on that, but the episode starts off where everyone's kind of recapping and reminding themselves, don't date your ex-girlfriends and all those rules. But also, it was an interesting lesson where they showed a video. One of the roommates showed a video of her amateur video where she took her girlfriend and pretended to sexually get all dominatrix on her and then kill her on that in the video, which was interesting. But the good news is that she actually did get some sort of production. So that part of it's kind of neat. But then what it had to do is once again we have to deal with the Brian and Corey and the blonde. It's just what baffles me about this is that she's cute, but just okay. Just my opinion, but I don't know. It's just my opinion. But think about it for a moment. She's cute, but just it's like there's just a lot of stuff there on that, and that's what's so amazing to me about this. But they're young, they're doing off their thing, so it's cool on that. But basically, the blonde on that starts to go and auditions to be a go-go dancer, which she actually gets it. Yay her, and she actually can dance okay on that. It's like they said later on in the episode, it's a combination of don't know what you're doing with you know what you're doing with some fluidity and weird stuff that no one's seen, but it somehow worked on that. So that was the cool part. And what they did is that the group was going to go to the club where she was going to go dancing and support her. Now before this, Brian is once again running his mouth saying how much degrading this go-go dancing is and everything. And on some levels I kind of agree with him, because it's like you don't want your girlfriend or even your ex-girlfriend. I mean, well, let's be truthful here. I mean, there's always fantasy, but I mean, you really don't want any of that kind of stuff going on that. However, it's something where some people have to do it because they really have no choice. But she wasn't even stripping. She wasn't just dancing. It was like one of those girls at a club or a rave or something where they're dancing in a cage and they're fully clothed, but they're dancing in a cage, and it is just part of the club. I mean, that's not really. I mean, in a way, it is kind of degrading, but on the other hand, they're getting paid well, and they're not exposing or using what mom gave them. So I see his point where he's uncomfortable with it, but I don't see his point because she's clothed on that. And this goes back to one thing. It's like, how is it indecent to be naked in a strip club or something like that? But it's not indecent if it's done on the stage of London theater. I don't know on that. But anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked there. But she got the part to be a go-go dancer. Brian doesn't like it. Corey's kind of staying out of it. He's just like, whatever, you figure it out. So Brian's like, I don't like this. And throughout the whole episode, all we hear is Brian and her going back and forth. I don't like you. I don't like this. It's a very annoying episode. But it was kind of the build-up on that. And you'll see why later. So then they go dancing, they support, hey, yay, great. They wake up the next morning, And Brian actually had a funny outfit. He came out, said, in the outfit with, like, in just him in, like, a pair of shorts with, like, handcuffs on it. And he's like, I just want to tell you, this is it was kind of funny. But you wonder, like, why would you do that? Why would you do that when you were, like, just saying earlier, like, yesterday, all that stuff? It didn't make a lot of sense, but some of the things, like, I can kind of see her perspective where some of the things he says doesn't make sense. He gets enough drink in him, he's completely irrational, and he kind of was at the club because while everyone else was supporting her dancing, Brian was like drunk, going, "I don't like you. You're not my friend," and all that stuff. And she's like, "You know what? You need to shut up." And then even Tom, one of the other roommates, told Brian, he says, "You need to shut the hell up. You got 7 other roommates here. You don't know what you're talking about. You just run your mouth." And he's like, "Tom, why don't you go read your books?" He says, "Yeah, you know what? I will, because I can read." Walks off. Unlike you. And he's pissed. He's just like, whatever, And then Brian comes and apologizes, and then he's like, "You know what? I accept your apology. It's cool, but you got to understand there's 7 other people here, and they're just not going to tolerate this shit. Okay, that's just it, So after the whole Go-Go Club thing, they go out to the Folsom Street Fair, and which I've never really been to, nor am I going to probably. But they 3 of the guys get this idea to dress up as like the furry animals. Like, remember episode 1, bear sex with the 2 big bear thing, which is bear sex. That should be a funny T-shirt. I mean, just big old bear, just a big bear. That would be a heck of funny T-shirt. But they go as the 3 like the musketeers or something, but they're all like, one's a wolf, one's a bear, and they go down the street, and there's like nudity everywhere, and other shows, and then on top of all that, oh my, they're like the hit. They're like just walking around in three bears, and all these people want pictures with them. They're like, we picked the right outfits. Everybody else was wearing nothing. We wear big bear suits. Yeah. And that was a funny scene. That was really funny. And then later on, they go to Napa. They get invited to go up to a wine trip up in the Napa County, up in Napa Valley. So they're like, "Oh, great, we get to go." They go up there, and everything is supposed to be all wonderful. Now, here's a little thing about Napa Valley: that there are very few owners of non-corporate. How to rephrase this? There are very few non-big corporation-owned wineries in Napa now, because the big guys came in here with tons of cash and bought them out. And that's just kind of the thing. And there's still some small wineries still exist there, but most of them are distilled, ran by big guys. But they're the one familiar with Napa Valley, so it's cool with them. They're just like, "Let's go." All right, cool. So they go. Now, the blonde was kind of smart about this. She's like, "You know what? We're going to Napa. I want to dress the part." So she dresses like a summer dress with a white hat and everything. It's more Kentucky or England style on that, but it still looked good. And I mean, heck, if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't mind her wearing that. It looked pretty good, actually. Now, they're younger. The other guys are like, "Why are you dressing like that?" I'm like, "Oh, class. That's why." So they're going to go up to get massaged and everything, and there were some funny things that happened there. They go up and get massaged. Ariel and her friend get massaged. And they're like, "Oh, so this is couples massage." And then Corey and the guy from Brooklyn got a massage in the same room. Like, me and Corey got a massage. Wait a minute, that sounds really bad. X that out. That was kind of funny. And then one of the Bronx guy goes and sees his girlfriend getting a massage, and he's like, "So, dude," he's like, starts talking to the massage guy. So let me get this straight. I just come here and I massage hot women all day long. He's like, "Yeah, pretty much." He's like, "Where do I apply?" And his girlfriend's like, or no, his ex-girlfriend's like, shut up. And he's like, no, seriously, this is great. Look, is he good? He's like, yeah, he is good. I'm like, well, heck, I could get better. That was funny. But then, like, there were little nuances, like, Brian is one's acting like a jerk. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be here. And then one of them, coughs or sneezes across the table. Like, don't do that. You're supposed to be classy and all that. And he's just like up here, and it's like, oh, really, dude? You're just not cool about this. But there's also some other things like, and I'm guilty of this too, that when you go to a winery, you're not supposed to slam the wine. I'm guilty of that. Gulp. Give me another one. Sure, it's great. Gulp. Yeah, you're not really supposed to do that, but to each his own, I guess. So anyway, they were like, oh, dude, like, you gotta cut off the swearing, man. You gotta stop. And that was Tom. He was drinking too much. But it was cool. It was more funny than volatile. So they go back, and then they go to this nice outing, out garden for lunch. Everything, they're having tasty. It was just really nice. And Brian and her just going back and forth. It's just really annoying. And it goes on all the way, I believe, all the way back to San Francisco. So they finally get back, and they're gonna go to another club on that night. And then what happened? They all go out to another club, and Corey spots this one girl, who obviously to him is like, look in the eye, like, come get me. And he's like, no, she's a camera. All she wants to do is get on television. That's it. So then what happens? The same girl bumped over to Brian, and Brian started getting up on her, and he's like shaking his head, like, that guy is no game. He's an idiot. And doesn't realize this. So they all leave, and they get in the van. They're on their way back, and they're filming this. And finally, Corey has the meltdown, saying, you know what? I'm tired of your shit. I banged your ex-girlfriend within 2 days of knowing her when I arrived in San Francisco. I banged her this. I did it. And, and honestly, I think Brian was just so drunk. He's like, I think he's an alcoholic, but he's just so drunk. He was just like, oh, yeah, whatever, man. He's like, I had that girl. He says, you had my groupie after she came down after I kicked her to the curb. Yeah, congrats. And he's like, and he kept going and yapping his mouth. He's like, well, that's why I'm trying to talk to you. That's why I'm trying to talk to you. Hey, man, you start something, I'll finish it. Blah, 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 blah. And then Tom is up there with Corey going, hey, man, you need to chill out. This is just getting stupid. And the guy in the back, with the Bronx guy going, guys, what are you fighting about here? There was really no reason to get to this level. So the whole thing ends with Corey's like, F it, and I'm going to punch you. And he's just like right over Brian like this. And I don't know what happened. Of course, to be continued. They show flashes of the next episode of, like, Brian getting knocked down and all that. Who wins or who loses, I'm sure we'll find out next week. But overall, it was an interesting episode. There were some funny moments, like Brian in the cop shorts. That was hilarious. And then people getting too drunk on wine. That was funny. And just overall, it wasn't one of the better ones, but it was just kind of a filler in and a build up for the final episode, which will be next week. Anyway, this is Dinosaur. I hope you enjoyed the review. I'll talk to you later.